I was traveling down a road one day, a road few ever see, and the day was so perfect and lovely that the time got away from me. I walked all the way through supper time, and I found I'd lost my way, for the road had twisted and turned and split from the path I set off on that day. My feet were sore and felt heavy, my face was burned red from the sun, my heart was heavy and my stomach was empty, and my legs felt like they weighed a ton. But soon along the road where I walked, a sweet scent had perfumed the breeze, and towers of limbs reached up for the sky, and I saw the apple trees. And sure enough, as I drew to the shade, and I stood at the foot of the roots, and I gazed up above to see gleaming red apples and rotten ones down at my boots. This was a treasure to one such as I, hungry from travel and weak. But through the trees came a stranger approaching, and he stopped me before I could speak. I know you are hungry, dear traveler. All who pass by are the same. But rest for a moment in the shade of my trees, and tell me, O pilgrim, thy name. I told him my name, and I gave him my hand, and his grip crushed my fingers like hay. And he bared his sharp teeth as he smiled at me, and I thought perhaps I shouldn't stay. But my hunger was fierce as a lion, and my body was weak from the trip, so I sat in the shade of the apple trees, my fingers still crushed from his grip. "Let me fetch you an apple, my friend," he said as his face became stern. "But first let me ask you a question, O pilgrim. What will you give in return?" "Ask for my shoes or my coat," said I. "Ask for my socks or my hat." But he shook his head with a laugh cold as ice, and said, "I don't want any of that. What I want from you is a favor, dear boy, a simple and plain little task. For my arms are sore from the labor of day, so pilgrim, this is what I ask. Go to the fields just beyond my trees, and find where the shovel is thrust, and dig me a hole in that spot in the field. You will have no trouble, I trust." "But why do you ask for a hole in the ground? What are you digging there for?" And pointed down to his apple trees and said, "To be planting more. But quiet your hunger first, my friend. Take this red apple and eat." And he snatched an apple from a low-hanging limb, and the apple, it tasted so sweet. So as I had promised the stranger, I went to the fields where he said, and I sank the shovel into the soft earth, where no other man has tread. And when I had finished his favor, and the hole was dug deep in the ground, I was prepared to announce I was finished, until, that is, I turned around. With a forceful shove I stumbled back, and with soil he began to pave, and he buried me there in the field just beyond. The hole that I dug was my grave. And many years passed after that, and he did what he had agreed. From the apple in my stomach grew a sprout from an apple seed. Now travelers sit beneath that sprout and find rest under me, and the stranger tends to the apples that grow from the limbs of my apple tree.